And now taking a look at the latest COVID-19 data, the state saw a slight increase in cases as other states see a surge. Health officials here are fearful of a possible fifth wave. Now, as it stands right now, there are more than 300 new cases of COVID-19 in Arkansas. The latest data also shows that 5 more people died to complications from the virus. In terms of hospitalizations, the Arkansas Department of Health is reporting nearly 300 battling it now from a hospital bed. And tonight, only 58 people are on ventilators. Now, these daily reports and weekly COVID briefings from the governor have quickly become a part of our regular routines. That further connecting Arkansans with their government. So how has the pandemic changed a politician's role and how we communicate? To answer that, I sat down with Governor Asa Hutchinson to review his last year. This time last year, news headlines in Arkansas were tough.
We are in a public health emergency.
And while things are starting to look up, there's still a long way to go.
I continue to advocate for everyone that is eligible to be vaccinated.
Tasked with sharing these important updates amid the pandemic, state governors were thrust into a new spotlight. You've worked in politics a long time. Did you ever expect to kind of be working in this way?
Well, I certainly never thought I'd work during a pandemic.
Whether it's the latest COVID numbers or coordinating the rollout of the Pfizer vaccine for young kids, the pandemic has put politicians into an unprecedented crisis response mode.
I saw communication in action post 9/11. I was a part of that, and that carried on. It made me realize at the very beginning of this pandemic, communication will be critical.
The governor's communication now more frequent with Washington.
I was on the call today with the White House.
And even more so with constituents.
Whenever we had trouble getting personal protective equipment, trying to get it in the global market and the challenges we face, I shared that information with everybody. I wanted them to walk along the path of leadership with me.
To date, Governor Asa Hutchinson has delivered 207 COVID briefings.
Thank you for joining us today for the weekly update.
A form of communication that's become an expectation for Arkansans, even as the immediate urgency of the pandemic wanes. Every Tuesday or Wednesday, you've been booked. You've been doing these COVID briefings. Do you see that continuing?
I'll continue doing weekly updates, and you're right. I want to get away from COVID just as much as everybody else does.
Topics ranging from updates on redistricting to eviction aid to local rice farming data, bringing more Arkansans into the statewide conversation.
That's what's changed since I've been governor, is the ability to communicate so directly to really each individual voter in the state.
And showcasing a digital record of history.
I probably need a couple years to look back and say history will tell us the mistakes that were made or not made. By and large, I think the decisions we made were reflective of Arkansas and fit our state and worked.
Even if they weren't always popular.
I believe you listen to science, I believe in the data, and you follow that, but you also have to understand Arkansas and understand what people will accept.
As he preps for the next briefing and looks towards the future. Are you hoping whoever is the next governor that they'll continue kind of this direct communication with constituents?
Oh, I think they'll figure out their own path. But, that direct communication and the importance of communication will not change whoever is governor.
And the governor's next briefing will be tomorrow, where he's expected to discuss his recent visit to Israel.